We've all heard the hype. Canadian real estate is facing the deepest market correction in the last 40 years, right? But this isn't the first time that experts have forecast corrections or crashes, none of which have materialized in recent history. So let's talk to our real estate expert, Jay Banerjei, for his expert opinion on this topic. Please join me in welcoming him to the show. Thank you so much for being here, Jay.
Good to be here, Molly.
So is there any reason for us, the people, to be concerned about the interest hike?
Actually, no.
Okay.
I'm glad you asked.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yes, but there's reasons for that.
Okay, tell us why.
You see, if the Bank of Canada did not raise the interest rates, then the economy could actually crash. Because understand this interest rate hike is from a historic low.
Right. I think this is what the so-called experts don't tell us.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So there's, it has gone up, to this and that, and how are people going to be able to afford it? Listen, we've been telling you many, many times. We've been in real estate for such a long time, and we have sold real estate during the time when the interest rates were like 10 and 12%.
That's right.
And before us, it was even higher, right? So these are market fluctuations.
And we actually have seen this in our three, I know it dates us, but we have now spanned, individually, we spanned over 3 decades, 3 decades of real estate. We've seen these things over the years come and go, and is part of the nature of market cycles.
Right.
But being specific about mortgages, the near zero rate that Canadians have enjoyed and have taken advantage of over the last 2 years boost the economy. It did give it a real boost during the pandemic, which was needed, right? You agree with me on that? But they also helped supercharge the housing market, and in turn, it contributed to the rising prices. So to counter this, and they had to, because the prices were not sustainable.
Right. So this is what is important, right? Because at the rate of which the market was rising, it was not sustainable.
It was not sustainable. You see, to counter this, the Bank of Canada implemented the 4 interest rate hikes since March. It seems, and it is aggressive, but coming from where it did, rising prices, almost zero interest rates, it had to be done to protect all of us. See, understand something. Those who are selling your home or own real estate, your overall net worth of value may have come down some, but it's better than losing it all. Because the reason is, back in the 90s, this happened in the United States. Not just for rates, they had the whole thing crashed because of greed. And I say this because, and they agreed to this, the Americans agreed to this, because it was just going. They didn't stop it. They kept selling to anybody and everybody, and they lost all the value. This is to protect us.
Right. So, in other words, the Canadian government is being responsible.
And here's this. We are already seeing the interest rates or the inflation edge down. It came down to 7.6% in July, and today it is at 7.1. Mind you, food prices haven't come down completely, but we're seeing this edge. This might take a little bit of time, whether it's a year or 2 or thereabouts, but we have to kind of put all our bootstraps on, tighten everything up a little bit, and just ride the wave.
Right. So just like in a family, we have crisis from time to time, and we don't just drop the ball and say, okay, that's it, right? We're giving up. Okay, so this is a time for all of us to come together.
On the other hand, these interest rates, the prices, having come down a reasonable amount, is actually encouraging buyers to get back in the market.
I know.
It wasn't happening.
That's right. Because buyers were afraid. I mean, we know that there were some who were very aggressive, and they took their chances. Good for them, right? But there a whole lot of regular people were afraid.
They were afraid. Having said that, now let me give you another perspective, a number of stats. We are also at the same time at an all-time low in inventory of houses for sale.
See, this is what the so-called experts are not telling you. Right? We need to be talking to people in real estate industry.
Exactly. And so in other words, there is no panic or fear in the market. Yes, people are holding off selling if they don't have to, because they may get more by holding off, which is possible, right? I'm not saying it's not true. However, there is no sudden selling, there is no panic selling, or like a rush of thousands of homes on the market. That is not happening. In other words, people have confidence in the Canadian market that it's going to hold, and the market is actually stable.
People say, well, the prices have gone up, right? Let's give it perspective. Compared to what the home prices are in rest of the world, our prices are still very affordable compared to them.
Exactly. Let me give another perspective. Because we had, like I said, going back to the decades, right? Without dating us too much. Right, Mo?
I know.
All this to say tougher market conditions and a possible recession, which is actually an induced recession, will be major market hurdles. But
there is a but.
History reminds us that recession often brings strong rebounds.
That's right.
It brings strong rebounds. Now, here's what happens. Traditionally, real estate, see, there's a reason buyers say, I wish I'd bought back then. Have you ever heard that before? I wish I had bought back then. Real estate has traditionally stood the test of time. Looking ahead, urbanization alone will be a significant boost to future housing demand. Here's the stats. This is very important. As Canada's urban population is projected to grow by 10 million more people by 2050.
Wow. So plus robust immigration. All of these foreign students that are coming, all of them, are going to be buying homes because, the first dream that any immigrant has upon arrival is to be able to buy their own home.
I think it's 3 to 4 million immigrants coming just in the next 3-4 years.
There you go. So all the fundamentals are in place.
Yes.
Right? There's no need to panic. And don't listen to all those people, right? Who, they could be your neighbors, they could be your relatives, they could be your friends.
Yes.
Right? Who know nothing about real estate. And look at these experts who are trying to tell you on television or some of these shows with their talking points, right? So listen to the experts. Real estate market is good. It is still a better idea to invest in real estate, right? And so because it's a long-term investment, and you will gain. You can never lose by owning real estate. So
we've all heard the name of Benjamin Toll. He's a CIBC economist. He's just out there. And recently in a podcast, what he said was that we're enduring, and this makes sense, we're enduring short-term pains for long-term gain.
That's right. And so hang tight. Listen to the experts, invest in the local economy. This is something that's very, very important for all Canadians, right? We've learned from pandemic that, it's not a good thing for us to depend on other countries or other places for our supplies. It's always good to depend upon our own local people.
Exactly. So what he said is that this adage of short-term pain for long-term gain applies to Canadian real estate in 2022 and may filter into 2023 until greater stability returns. The Bank of Canada holds the key. If they are too aggressive, they will trigger a recession. He also warned in his economic insight as part of Canada's Unlocking the Future report. If they proceed with caution, which I hope that they do, they should be able to bring inflation back to its target rate of 2%, and markets will settle.
Absolutely.
And time will tell.
Right. And if you have further questions regarding, it could be that you're a seller, it could be that you're a buyer, or even a first-time buyer. We have so many people who are first-time buyers, and there are all kinds of incentives that the government is giving to the first-time buyers. And if you have any questions on any of these topics, you can contact your real estate expert, Jay Banerjei. And where can they reach you, Jay?
647-273-1119.
We have lots more for you. Don't go anywhere.